Good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, let me thank all of you for coming today to attend this press interaction. As you are aware, Delhi is going for polls on the 25th of May. The nomination process is already started with no issues of notification by Election Commission on the 29th. And the last date for filing nominations was yesterday. So we have the nomination process, filing of nomination completed, and today the scrutiny is taking place in the respective office of the returning officers. So we thought it's a good idea to share with some data and details and information with the media, because the electoral roll is also frozen now. It's completed. The election arrangements are more or less in place, and the nomination process is completed. So today, I'll be sharing some information with you. Firstly, regarding the electoral data. Secondly, regarding the arrangements that are being made for the polling day. Thirdly, the data on the nominations. Then, certain amount of orientation for the media personnel who will be covering the poll day on the 25th. They are being issued authorization letters by the ECI. So some of you may have got them already. So a bit of orientation on that, what all do's and don'ts on that day. And also something very important, a new initiative of the ECI, which I think started last year, notifying the media persons as essential service, so that those who are doing poll duty on the polling day, covering polling, will be able to exercise postal ballot in advance. So this is a very important initiative of the ECI. I'll be briefing you about that also. We have already come out with information on that in public domain, issued advertisements also in the newspapers. So these are broadly the areas I will cover it in the next few minutes. After that, we'll have open house if you have any questions to ask. जहाँ तक इलेक्टोरल रोल डेटा की बात है, we have closed as I said, जो नया वोटर्स बनाने का प्रक्रिया बंद हो गया. अप्लाई कर सकते हैं लोग अभी भी, लेकिन वो प्रोसेसिंग नहीं होंगे. प्रोसेसिंग का वो बंद हो गया. तो इसके बाद हमारे पास जो है दिल्ली में 1,52,136 electors total. 1,52 lakhs. 1,52 lakhs 1,936 electors final हो गया. So this is the total final total. With male voters 82 lakhs 12,794 and female voters 69 lakhs 87,914. And we also have a third gender, which is about 1,228. So these are broadly the figures that are going into the polling on the 25th. So some of you might be interested to know the comparison of 2019, the last election and this election, what is the change. In terms of change, the overall number of electors, there is an increase of 8.85 lakhs compared to 2019. And most significant thing is, rather than the increase, of course this is an important changeover from the 2019. The gender ratio is something which we have really been able to push and increase. In 2019, the gender ratio was 818. As of today, it has gone to 851. There is 33 points increase in the gender ratio. Similarly, the electoral population ratio, as we call it, has also come down from 72 to 69. This basically indicates the ideal number is supposed to be about 67, 68 electoral to population ratio. That means 67% or 68% would be the voters out of 100 population. A higher percentage indicates presence of, unless there are specific reasons, presence of voters who should not have been there, maybe dead voters, shifted voters being present there. So we have done a very concerted exercise over the last couple of years to weed out dead and the shifted voters. As a result, the electoral population ratio, which was 72 in 2019, has come down to 69. This is a very significant achievement. Another area where we are focused was increasing the enrollment of first-time voters, the 18-19 age group, which fairly stood at about 2.5 lakhs in 1919, but it has gone down. When we published the draft electoral roll in October 2023, the first-time voters was about 63,000. As of today, we have increased the enrollment to 2.52 lakhs, 2,52,000. So it's a very significant achievement. Similarly, the transgender, the third gender, also has gone up significantly from the previous elections. It was 669 in 2019. It has gone to 1,228 as of today. These are the figures I will be sharing with you. Some of you may have noted, you don't have to note now. We will share the data with you at the end of the conference on all these inputs. So this is broadly about the electoral roll. So far as election arrangements are concerned, we have about 13,637 polling stations spread across Delhi at 2,627 locations. These are the polling locations. We have we decided to create 4 auxiliary polling stations where the voter strength is more than 1,800. So we'll have 4 extra additional polling stations in those locations. This is a mammoth exercise conducting elections in the country, and of course in Delhi as well. We have deployed almost more than 1 lakh personnel for the election duty, which includes various functional responsibilities, polling personnel on poll day, then the counting personnel on the counting day, then we have micro observers, we have sector officers, we have teams, static surveillance teams, flying squads, and other staff working. So in all about 1,03,000, and this also includes about 8,000 volunteers will be deploying on the day of the poll, who will facilitate especially the senior citizens and the persons with disabilities in exchanging their, in exercising their franchise. And we also have deployed about 180 sign language translators in different locations where we have the PWD voters extra, so that they are able to facilitate their voting. Then we will be having a webcasting, a direct live telecast, live streaming of the proceedings of the polling in about 6,833 polling stations. About 50% of the total number of polling stations will be covered under the webcasting. So the proceedings in the polling station and outside will be live streamed in these polling stations. Then the force deployment, we have got about 46 companies of the CAPF and about 19,000 home guards, both from Delhi, and we have also requested from the neighboring states. They will be on one duty, apart from the Delhi police personnel, which is almost 78,000. Out of them, about 33,000 odd will be actively deployed at the polling stations. This is the force deployment. Now, so far as the facilities for the voters, as you may be aware, we have Election Commission has a policy of providing AMF, they call assured minimum facilities at the polling stations, which includes proper polling arrangements, waiting area, provision of drinking water, toilet facilities, ramp, etc. So these all will be provided on the polling stations. Now this year there is a prediction by the IMD that the heat wave is likely to be more intense than the usual. There is a concern on that. So I have had, at the commission level, there is a high level meeting held and certain initiatives were taken. And on our level, we had a meeting with all the stakeholders, including MCD, NDMC, local bodies, Delusion Board, Health Department, and all other stakeholders. And we've tried to strengthen these arrangements at the polling station, especially the waiting areas where it needs to be kept at a level that people are able to wait there, waiting for their turn to vote. So we had asked them to, our field officers to set up coolers or mist fans in the waiting area so that people are wait. And drinking water, cold drinking water is also made available at the polling stations. And Delhi's Board will be supplying tankers and stationing them at the respective MCD zonal offices through the day, so that wherever there is a requirement for water, it will be supplied from there. So these are the additional measures we are taking for to deal with the big heat wave conditions. Apart from this, we also have facilities to ensure accessible and inclusive voting for people with disabilities as well as senior citizens. So the senior citizens who are 85 plus and the persons with disabilities, they have a facility of home voting through the postal ballot system. They have an option to opt for it. In those cases, they will be able to vote from home. Our teams will be going once the ballot paper is finalized. Teams will visit those houses and enable them exercise their franchise. This will be communicated to the political parties in advance, the schedule, so that their representatives can be present also while the voting is being done by these people who opt for the home voting. And those senior citizens and persons with disabilities who would like to go to the polling station and vote, we are making arrangements for their pick-up and drop facility. So we, as I said, there are a large number of volunteers being deployed. So they will be picking them up and bringing to the polling station. They don't have to wait in lines. They can go directly and vote and then get dropped home. This facility is being extended. Apart from that, sign language interpreters, as I said, are being deployed at various polling locations. And then we're putting up posters to facilitate deaf and hard hearing voters, and then braille ballot papers, dummy ballot papers, and other voter assistance material, voter assistance guides, etc. will also be supplied to the voters with braille facility. And as I said, polling stations. Apart from this, there is also this year we are laying for special emphasis on presence of paramedics with basic medical kits at the polling locations in case if there is an intense heat wave, if somebody falls sick or something, to attend to them immediately. So the Director of Health Services and the local bodies will be providing paramedical personnel along with basic medical kit at all the polling locations. There will also be carriage set up at various locations for women coming with small young children to vote. That will also be facilitated. So these are some of the arrangements that have been made for the polling. Now coming to the nominations which concluded yesterday, I'm sure you already have certain amount of information. We have about 367 nominations filed by 265 candidates. So that's what the tally as of the time of closing yesterday. Today, as I said, the scrutiny is going on. After that, next 2 days, 8th and 9th will be the time for withdrawal of nominations. Thereafter, we'll finalize the list of contesting candidates. This information also we'll share with you. Now, the next issue that I wanted to talk about was those of you who have been issued the authorization letter by the ECI to cover the poll day. I mean, I'm sure many of you have covered elections earlier, so you know the drill. You're supposed to carry your identity card as well as authorization letter. You need to get permission from the presiding officer to enter into the polling station, and you're not supposed to go to an area where the voting actually takes place, the voting compartment, to maintain the secrecy. You will have to abide by the directions of the presiding officer in this regard. You're not supposed to interview anybody within the 100 meters of the polling station area. These are the standard guidelines. We'll also be sharing with you applicable for both polling day as well as the counting day. So that's something again we'll share with you. In case if you have any issues, you can ask. इलेक्शन रोज नहीं आता है, कभी कभी आता है. ये हमारा एज ए सिटीजन, देखिए वोटिंग राइट जो है ना बहुत प्रेशियस है. वोटिंग राइट सिर्फ सिटीजन्स को मिलता है. बहुत सारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, वो पर्सन्स के लिए अवेलेबल है, औरों को भी मिलता है जो सिटीजन्स के लिए. लेकिन वोटिंग राइट ऐसी चीज़ है जो सिर्फ सिटीजन्स के लिए मिलता है, बहुत ही वैल्यूबल राइट है. ये हम अपना रिप्रेजेंटेटिव थ्रू ही अपना सरकार चुनने का हमें अधिकार मिला हुआ है. So it is not only a duty but also a responsibility. So apart from the arrangements to make the polling, जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया, चाहे PPM का हो चाहे अदर जो फैसिलिटीज जो है, ये सब इसलिए है कि भाई वोटिंग एक स्मूथ प्रोसेस हो जाए. और वेदर को तो हम कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि लोग जो है दे विल कम एंड वोट इन बिग नंबर्स. उसके अलावा जो वोटर इंफॉर्मेशन स्लिप देते हैं वो भी ब्रेल का बना के देते हैं. तीसरा जो बैलेट यूनिट होता है, सैंपल जो बैलेट बॉक्स पे लगेगा, उसको भी हम ब्रेल में बना के सैंपल जो है देता है. उसको वो पहले से ही वो उसके बारे में फेमिलियराइज हो सकते हैं. बाकी जहाँ तक होम वोटिंग का है, होम वोटिंग फैसिलिटी उनके लिए भी है, और जो उसके लिए ऑप्ट करता है तो वो घर से वोट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जो पोलिंग स्टेशन में आना चाहते हैं उनके लिए ये फैसिलिटीज है. इसमें एक बूथ होगा जो पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटीज मैनेज करेंगे 100%. उनको आइडेंटिफाई किया गया है कि, और कोशिश जारी है कि एटलीस्ट वन जो है पोलिंग स्टेशन रहे जो पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटीज एक्सक्लूसिवली वो मैनेज करें. इसी तरह रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर्स के पास भी जाता है कैंडिडेट्स. इसमें 3 लेवल पे एक्शन होता है. एक तो जो कैंडिडेट्स का रिलेटेड होता है लोकल लेवल पे, आरओ लेवल पे जो एक्शन होता है वो ऑफिस. दूसरा जो है कई लोग कमीशन को लिखते हैं, इलेक्शन कमीशन या हमें फॉरवर्ड करता है या सुमोटा अपने लेवल पे उसको कॉग्निजेंस लेके एक्शन लेते या ना लेते. और कुछ कंप्लेंट जो हमें फॉरवर्ड करते हैं पर रिपोर्टिंग, क्या इंक्वायरी एंड रिपोर्ट, उसमें कुछ ऐसी चीज है जिसमें हमारा लेवल पे एक्शन होता है. कुछ ऐसी चीजें जो कमीशन के बाद एक्शन कमीशन लेवल पे होता है. सो दिस इज ब्रॉडली या हमारे पास भी कुछ कंप्लेंट्स आते हैं जो आउटवर्क लेवल पे पर्टेन करते हैं कैंडिडेट की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. जैसा कोई अनाथराइज पोस्ट करना चाहता है, ठीक है, इस तरह का कंप्लेंट्स आते हैं. इस कंप्लेंट्स को हम फॉरवर्ड करते हैं आरओ लेवल पे, बट वो डील करके वहीं खत्म होता है. कुछ केसेस में हम रिपोर्ट मांगते हैं तो रिपोर्ट बना के भेजते हैं. अगर रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक सीओ लेवल पे एक्शन लेना है तो सीओ लेवल पे लेते हैं, या ईसीए में जाना है ईसीए के लेवल पे होगा ईसीए में हम भेज देते हैं. सो दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ जिस तरह से काम करते हैं. अब हमारे पास अभी उसका डेटा नहीं है कि मेरे पास रेडी कितने सारे कंप्लेंट्स आए हैं, लेकिन हमारे पास जो है विदिन 48 आवर्स के अंदर, विदिन 24 आवर्स नॉर्मल स्टैंडर्ड है. अगर थोड़ा डिले हो गया तो 48 आवर्स के अंदर जो है उसके ऊपर एक्शन होता है. एंड देन वेरेवर इट इज टू सेंड, अगर कमीशन में भेजना है तो कमीशन में भेज देते हैं, देन कमीशन टेक्स अ व्यू.